Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths, day 38. Pencil and paper needed, or pen and paper, and we'll get started. Question 1 for year 3 level questions. How many tens is 750? How many tens is 750? Units, tens, that's what we want, isn't it? And hundreds. Anyway, if it was units, it'd be 750 units. If it's tens, it's 75 tens. The answer is 75 tens. Because 75 lots of 10 is 750. How many tens is 750? 75. Question 2. Plus, it says plus 313 add or plus 429. You might notice I didn't put the biggest number on the top this time in plus. You don't have to in plus, even though normally I do. 3 plus 9, 12. 1 plus 2 plus 1, 4. 3 plus 4, 7. 742 because plus makes things bigger. Make sure it's got bigger. Pause if you need time to copy. And we're on question 3, which is minus. It says minus. 200 is the biggest number. 137 is the smallest, and in minus the biggest number has to go on the top. 0 take away 7, can't do that. So you would go to borrow here, but there's nothing here, so you go over here. The 2 goes down to a 1, the 200 goes down to a 100, and we lend this 100, or we give this 100 here, making it 10 tens, which is of course 100. There was nothing here before. When we bring 100 over into the tens column, we have 10 tens, which is 100. So we haven't changed any values of any numbers, we've just moved it across to help us do this question, because we can do 10. No, we're not finished yet, are we? We still need to do some more borrowing, because we made this one a 10, but this is still a 0, and the 0 is not very helpful to take away a 7. So 0 needs some more help from here. The 10 now can go down from 10 tens to 9 tens, and lend a 10 over here, so we have 10. 10 take away 7, 3. 9 take away 3 is 6. 1 take away 1, 0. You don't need to write that 0. 63. 200 take away 137 is 63. If you know number bonds, you might know 63 and 37 goes together to make 100. That's a little number bonds check of our answer. And we're on question 4. 32 times 5. We've been doing these in the last few days, these longer multiplications in year 3. So first I'm going to do the green part, and then I'm going to do a yellow part. So I'm going to split this number up into its 2 units and its 3 tens. 32, I'm going to split it up into 3 tens and 2 units. So 3 tens is 3t, which we normally call 30. 3t should really be called 3t, but we call it 30. 30 times 5. In fact, why don't I should do that in yellow. I should do that in yellow because I circled it in yellow. So the yellow part is 30 times 5. I'm going to have to squeeze the answer in. And then I'm going to do a green part. I'll do that now. 2 times 5. So I'm splitting the question up into 30 times 5 and 2 times 5 because it was 32 times 5. 30 times 5 and 2 times 5. Let's get the answer to those parts. 3 times 5 is 15, but this was 30 times 5, so we have to place this 0, 150. 2 times 5, we probably know, is 10. We have to add up the yellow part and the green part. I could do that here. 0, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 1. 150 plus 10, of course, is 160. So our answer is 160. That was using what I call a partitioning method for multiplication. Underneath I'm going to do another method to check. I'm going to do the grid method, which is multiplication method used in year 3 and quite a lot in year 4 as well. And for some children, all the way through school. If it's their favourite one, they just keep using it. 32. So I split the 32 up into 30 and 2. The 5 goes here. We call this the grid method because these black lines look a bit like a grid. Right, in here, 5 times 3 is 15. Place a 0, 150. And here, 5 times 2 is 10. So I got two answers, yellow and green, to remind you of the first method. 150 plus 10, we'll add them up at the end. You know what this is, don't you? 150 plus 10, as in the other method, is 160. So we've got two checks. I should write from the back, shouldn't I? I just knew there would be no carrying. I should write from the back. So the answer is 160. Good, let's go on to question 4. If you don't get this yet, don't worry. We'll keep doing it every day. In the end, you will. Even if you have to do it for 50 days, in the end, it'll start going in. Let's go to question 5. 72 divided by 6. The first way I'm going to do this is just by singing it. 72 divided by 6. Problem is in year 3, we didn't teach you your 6 times table song. In school year 2020, haven't taught you your 6 times table song. So you might not know this yet. You might have to go along with me on this one. But I'll sing my 6s up to 72. 6 and 12, 18 and 24. Then 30, 36 and 42. 48 and 54, 60 and 66. We have 72, you know, 6 times table 2. So that was 12 fingers as I counted on my fingers. You can't see, but I'm counting on my fingers and I got 12. 72 divided by 6 is 12. Another way you could do that on a number line is you just start on 0 and you count all the way up to 72, because that's this number here. You count up to the number at the start, the big number in this case. What do you count in? You count in 6s. So I'm going to count in 6s up there. This is just a picture version of the song I just sung. So I go 6 and 12, 18 and 24, squeezing it in, then 30, 36 and 42, 48 and 54, 60 and 66. We have 72, you know, 6 times table 2. So I counted up in 6s because that said 6. I counted up to 72 because that said 72. That's why I did it. Count the jumps. Don't count the one you start on, but go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What I should say is don't count the number you start on. You count the end of the first jump when you hit 6. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The answer is definitely 12, as we already knew. And finally, another way of doing it is the bus stop method, a short method for doing division. You go, how many 6s fit into 7? So I sing my 6 times table, but I don't go past 7. 6 and 12, I've gone too far already. Start again. 6, I can only get 1. My fingers, I count on my fingers say 1. I counted up to 6, I sang up to 6, but that says 7. So I've only used 6 out of the 7, so there's 1 left. How many 6s in 12? 6 and 12, 2. So the answer is definitely 12. We've done it 3 times and it's 12. I'm doing this to try and help you understand division, otherwise known as sharing, or how many somethings in a something. And how many somethings, 6s in a something, 72, is 12. Time for the year 4 level stuff. Question 6. How many 10s is 3,500? Hopefully you're getting very used to these questions now. Units, 10s. I could put all the hats on, but we only need the 10s. How many 10s is it? 350 10s. A very useful skill this, which if you've been doing this every day, I'm confident you'll be starting to get now. 350 10s. It would be 3,500 units, but it's 350 10s. I'm on question 7. Take. Take sounds like take away because it is take away. Take 7 from 4,002. That's the big number. This could be a bit tricky. I wonder if you know why. It's because it's going to go down below 4,000. That's what makes this a bit tricky, because you can't do 2 take away 7. 2 needs some help. No help there. Any help there? No. Any help there? Yes. 3. Get this one. That can now go down to a 9. That can go to a 10 and then down to a 9. That can go to 12 take away 7. Which is 5. 9, 9, and not 4, but of course 3. 3,995. And we're on question 8. This is money. So, money, £6.90, shared between 3. We shared is division. Going to do the bus stop for division in year 4. Money, £6.90. It has a decimal point. That's called a decimal point. Money has a decimal point in it. It means it's 6 and a bit pounds. It's more than £6, but less than £7. It's 6 and a bit pounds. These places here are decimal places because they're after the decimal point, and they're only worth a bit of something. They're not worth a whole pound, they're just worth a bit of a pound. £6.90 is better than £6 if you like to have money. It's worse than £7 if you'd like to have £7. So £6.90, you can share it between 3. And actually the bus stop with decimals or the bus stop with division is very easy. You know it has a point there, you just line it up or you just put one up top. That's all you do. Everything else is the same as a normal bus stop. So you can share £6.90 between 3 people on the bus stop just by lining up the point with where it already is. How many 3's in 6? I'll sing my 3's, I mustn't go past 6. 3, 6, I sang 2 of them and I got exactly 6. How many 3's in 9? 3, 6, 9. I sang 3 of them and I got exactly 9. How many 3's in 0? Of course 0. But when it's money you need that 0. The answer is £2.30. £6.90. When you share it between 3 people it's going to be less, isn't it? You're not going to have £6.90 each. You share it between 3 you're going to have £2.30. So think about whether your answer makes sense. If you share something, the 3 people each are going to have less than what the whole amount was. So that's how you can work with decimals on the bus stop, if you haven't already seen that. And we're on number 9, product. Do you know product? Starting to learn this vocabulary, hopefully. Product means times. I'll use the standard method for this today. You could use the grid method if you want. I used the grid method for yesterday. I did both yesterday. Today I think I'll just do this one. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 9, 54. Or sing your way to it if you want. 6 and 12, 18 and... I'm getting lost. 6 and 12, 18 and 24. Then 30, 36 and 42. 48 and 54. Yep, definitely 9. 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times 5. 6 and 12, 18 and 24. Then 30. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus a 5. 35. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 3, 21. Cross out those little ones. 21,546. Do you know what? I said I wasn't going to do the grid method, but I realise I actually like having the grid method as well because it means I have a check. Because I don't know what these answers are yet. And I don't want to tell you the wrong answer. So I will actually do the grid method as well as a check. It's got a 1 on the end, which will be nice and easy. So with the grid method, you smash up, you partition this 3,591 into 3,590 M1. Times it by 6. 3 times 6, 18. Place 3 zeros. 6 times 5, 30. Made a 0. It made its own 0. 6 times 5 is 30. You still got to place those 2. So don't get tricked by that. There's actually 3 zeros on the end, not 2, because 6 times 5 made 30. So that already made 1, and then we placed those 2 as well. Make sure that like zeros, not 6s. I don't think I've done a very good job of that. They're zeros, alright. 6 times 9 is 54, places 0. 540, 6 times 1, 6. Is that going to add up to 21,000? Well, 18,000 plus 3,000. 18 plus 3 is 21. 18,000 plus 3,000 is 21,546. Yeah, I can see it. 21,546. I probably would have added up with column method if I didn't already have this, but I could see in my head. It's a good tip, by the way, if you're trying to add thousands. Thousands is just a word, so 18,000 plus 3,000 is 21,000. You only have to do 18 plus 3 is 21. They both had thousands on the end, so easy way to add those. That gave us the thousands, 21,000, and then 546 is of course 546. 540 and 6 is 546. So that gave us the last 3 digits of our answer. Happy with that then? And we go to question 10. Combined, unusual word, which means put together. So that's going to mean add usually in maths. Question 10, we're going to add these numbers with lots of 7s on. Yeah, 7 is a lot of people's favourite number. Not everyone's. 7 and 7 is 14. 7 and 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. 7 and 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. 2, 5, 1, 8. 8,554. 2,000 plus 5,000 would only be 7,000, but we had a carried one, so it's 8,000. That's okay then. Pause if you need to copy. And question 11, year 5 level now. I don't need to do any workings for question 11. 858, take away something is 58. So what's got taken away? 858, we've got 58 left. What's actually got taken away is the 800, isn't it? Units, tens, hundreds, the 800 has got taken away. I think so anyway. I'll read back to myself what I've written and see if it makes sense. If I had 858 sweets, I gave away 800 of them, took away 800 of them, I'd have 58 left. That makes sense. 858 minus the 800 leaves you the 58. When you fill in these boxes in missing box questions, missing number questions, I would 100% recommend that you read what you've written at the end, because about 1/3 of the time it will not make sense. So make sure it does make sense. Our answer is 800. That's what goes in the box, 800. And we're on question 12. Increase means plus. Increase 7 by nothing and a bit. Okay, increase 7.00 then. Increase it by 0.45. We must line up the decimal point when we do plus or minus or divide. Not times, but plus, minus, divide, you line up the decimal point. This is just very easy adding. The only hard thing about this is the lining up. 7.45. Increase 7 by 0.45. The 7's basically jumping on there instead of the 0, isn't it? 7.45 is the answer. Next, that was question 12. I didn't write the number, sorry about that. We go on to question 13, which is very similar, but it's reduce 7 by 0.45. Reduce means minus, if you don't know that. Try to learn that reduce means minus. I'm going to line up in exactly the same way, but this time I'm going to do a takeaway instead of a plus. The plus was easy. The takeaway is not so easy because you need to do the borrowing or taking. Year 5, so I'll do this quick. I don't know if you know this, but you can actually slow down the speed of YouTube videos. So if you find I go too fast, I'll try and show you how to do that one day, but there's an option in YouTube to slow down or speed up the videos. You could speed them up, make my voice sound crazy, or you could slow them down and my voice will be really slow. But it might just help you if I go too fast or too slow. You can sometimes just slightly speed it up or slightly slow it down, and the video will play at a slightly different speed. That might help some of you. Anyway, we get 6.55 as a check, number bonds check. 55 and 45 go together to make 100. So that's okay. And we're on question 14. How many 40s in this big number here? 34,560. This is how many somethings in a something question, and I really hope you know now that that means divide. How many somethings fit into a something is divide or sharing, because we're sharing this big old something out between 40. I'm going to need my 40 times table. You probably know a really great trick for getting your 40 times tables quickly. You do your 4s and you place a 0 on the end. Which actually makes it nice and easy. The most you ever need is 9. Sometimes I do 10 for a check, but the most you ever need is 9. I don't need to check this time because it's my 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 and 28 and 32, 36 and 40. What am I singing? Is that right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 and 28, 32, 36. Oh yeah, I just went too far. 36 is enough. Place a 0 and it becomes 360 at the end. So we can use this to enable us to divide by 40 on the bus stop. How many 40s in 3? Definitely none, because 3 is only small. How many 40s in 34? 40 is still too big to fit into 34, so still 0. Carry the 34. When you're dealing with big numbers like 40, when your divisor, or when the number you're dividing by is a big number like 40, you often get these zeros at the start. How many 40s in 345? There'll be quite a lot in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mustn't go past 345. 6, 7, 8. Can't do any more. It's 8. I counted up to 8. which was 320. I was looking for 345. So how you find your remainder is what you had, 345, take off what you counted up to, 320. That tells you a remainder, which is going to be 25. Here's 25. And then you carry that remainder, the 25. 256, another big number. Let's count in purple this time. How many 40s fit into 256? Mustn't go past 256. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I can't go up to 280 because it's past 256. So it was 6. That's the big number that goes at the top. I was looking for 256. What did I actually count up to? 240. You can see how it's helpful to have a lot of practice at minus because it makes you very fast at these little minuses. That's why I'm always telling children, whatever their level is in maths, practice will make you faster and more accurate. It makes everything quicker and easier for you. So we get a remainder of 16, and I'm hoping that 160 is on my list, because if it is, then it's probably right. I must count my 40s to 160. 1, 2, 3, 4 exactly. I love it when it works exactly, because it means I've probably not made a mistake. 864. And to be honest with you, when it works exactly, I don't even check very carefully now, because it's almost certainly correct. The thing that normally goes wrong is you might have done your terms table wrong, which I didn't this time, and you might do these wrong. You might just get your remainders wrong. But if it works out at the end perfectly, you probably haven't done anything wrong. Now we go to question 15. 325 times 24, okay? A long multiplication really here. This is not too hard because these digits are easy digits, aren't they? There's no 6s and 7s and 8s. They're nice, easy times table digits, which does make this easier, even for someone who's done this as much as me. Can you imagine how much I've done this stuff? Day after day after day after day for years, and I'm still not perfect at it. So 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. That's the first section. I placed a 0 because this 2 is really worth 20, not 2. But because I placed a 0, I can pretend it's 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 answers to add up. Make sure you don't accidentally add up those little ones. 0, 0. Oh, this is easy. 8 and 7. 7,800. 325 times 10 would be 3,250. So that's sounding like it should be about right. 7,800. And we're on question 16. I call this moving method. When you divide by 10 or 100 or 1,000, there's special little numbers, which means you don't really need to do much work. Divided by 100, you just get the 7. If it doesn't have a point, you put one on the end. Line one up underneath. That point is meant to be there. And we're moving it 2 places smaller. Why? Because the 100 has 2 zeros on it. 2 places smaller. This is the same place. So if I wrote it there, I've not even changed it. This would be 1 place smaller. But this is 2 places smaller. 1, 2. Any gaps, fill in with zeros. 0.07 looks a bit like James Bond 007. 7, 2 places smaller, is 0.07. And we're on question 17. Find a tenth. Do you know how to find a tenth of something? You divide by 10. What method is dividing by 10? Again, moving method. 2 in a row. Divided by 10. If there is a point already, you can't place another one. You're only allowed to have 1 decimal point in a number. Line 1 up underneath. Divided by 10, 1 place smaller. So instead of being here, the 2, that would not be right because it has to move smaller. It goes towards the small end, which is a decimal end, that way. It goes 1 place smaller. Everything goes 1 place smaller. 245 goes 245, but it's all smaller because it's the other side of the decimal point. 2.245 is same as 0.245. We're on question 18. Another big old long multiplication. The videos are getting longer towards the end of the year because you're just getting better at maths. So maths, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's slowly got harder since the first video. And in the end, there ends up being quite a big difference between the first video and this video. And we'll just continue getting slightly harder as we move on. So long multiplication, I'll place this 0 so I don't forget. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3, 15, plus 2, 17. Done with that, thank you. Place the 0, so 4 times 0. We've still got to do though 4 times 0. We placed a 0 because it's worth 40, not 4. But then we're still going to do 4 times 0, which makes another 0. 4 times 5, 20, makes another 0. 4 times 3, 12, plus 2, 14. Don't need that anymore. Let's add them up. Easy adding up. 15,750. I'll do a little estimate. Let's call this one 350. Let's call it 300. I know we're not rounding properly here. I'm going to call that one 50. So I kind of rounded that one down and that one up, but really to make it get closer to the answer. But you could estimate by doing 400 times 40, 400 times 50, 300 times 40, because the estimate doesn't have to be exact. This is just an estimate to predict what the answer should roughly be. Times tables in disguise. 3 times 5 is 15, and place 2, 3 zeros. So it should be about 15,000. I've got 15,750. You don't have to do this bit, but I would advise it, if you know what you're doing, to estimate and make sure. At least I know that I've got a 5-digit number and it's pretty close to 15,000, so I'm happy with that. 19, the sum means plus. Just make sure your line up's okay. I'm going to go with the biggest number on the top. As you know, in plus it doesn't matter. We'll quickly add this. 3. Well, not too quickly. Don't want to make mistakes. 10 plus 1 is 17. 3. 37.13. 29 plus 7 is 36, but there was a carried one that made it go to 37. 29 and a bit plus 7 and a bit is 37 and a bit. And I think I can fit question 20 on. We did distance between yesterday. Distance between means minus. Distance between 1, otherwise known as 1.0 to make the decimal point line up. Distance between 1 and 0.4. 1 will have to go on the top because it's bigger. We'll do some borrowing or taking, whatever you like to call it. Is the answer 6? Definitely not, because we have to have our decimal point. The answer is 0.6. You might know number bonds. 4 and 6 make a 10. 0.4 and 0.6 makes a 1. 0.6 is the answer. Here come all the answers then. Thanks for listening. Pause it here to get your answers. I really am talking faster these days and we're doing quite difficult stuff, but I'll see you again next time. Thank you.